here again. Welcome back to Space Monster. That's what I'm going to start calling this series. Space Monster makes more sense, I think. I've got a lot of things to catch up on between episodes. I've had some issues, and the first issue was in this. I had a breeder here, and I restarted the server the other day, and the server wouldn't start. It just kept crashing. In the crash log, it told me it was the breeder that was the issue. Now, what I remember seeing in it before was I had a gene here called Unnamed. Oh, does that actually show in? It's Unnamed, got two ends. No, it doesn't actually show in there then. Okay, good to know. There was one of these things, a gene, and it was unnamed, and that was in the breeder. So I think that's what happens if you let something pipe into a breeder and it's not got something in the right hand side. I think that happens, which is a bit dodgy. Now I was going to make another breeder. I'm going to place it down and see if it happens again. So nothing's happened there. That's good. So yeah, this was unnamed. I think that's what the issue was. So I had to download MCEdit. First time I've ever used it. I had to learn how to use MCEdit. I had to come into my world and I had to break the breeder in MCEdit. So if you're following what I'm doing, you be aware of that. Make sure when you shut your server down or your game down, you do not have a thing in there called unnamed, because I think that was what the issue was. Right, and I'm not going to do any more with that today. I've been getting on with a few things. Now, one thing I had issue with is the quarry's a bit of a mess. A couple of people told me after the last episode what I missed out on was a thing called a liquid selector. So let me quickly sleep so it's light when I get over there. And I think the issue with the pumping the water is there's just too much water for it to pump. I think it goes for a certain area, and because I'm doing a 256 in the sea, it's just too big to deal with. So if we head over there, you'll see that we're quite far down. We are down, but we're full of water. So this one, I'm just going to leave it as it is, full of water. There's all kind of this stuff is going to wither me. That's that sludge stuff that withers you. But we'll see, we're down at level 32, so we're getting there. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. So we're getting to the good stuff pretty soon. I really want some silicon for Galacticraft, and you can see he's working away nice and fast. And oh man, it's ridiculous the amount of stuff I've got. So, but the issue was I needed this thing. Now, what happens if you place a pump plus down? What you can do is you can click the side of it with this liquid selector, and then you can actually add which liquids you want it to deal with. So I think if I'd done this from the start, now the fact that there's water in there, it makes it tricky. But I think if I'd done this from the start, I could have pumped the water out. I could have pumped all the liquids out, but I might have had to have added all the relevant ones. So there's water in there, there's lava, there's sludge, there's sewage. So it's still a little bit weird. I think part of the issue was the fact that there was just such a big volume of water for it to deal with. So to make this thing, I had a bit of an issue as well. This is made in the assembly table, and it needs buckets, wrenches, it needs oil bucket and a fuel bucket. So I had to make a refinery, which I've got here, and I've got a drum of fuel, and this actually works really well. If you're going to use buildcraft fuel, then this could have easily been an ender tank, of course. But all I did was, if you remember, since I started, there's been an oil source over here. All I did was put a BC pump there. One of these photovoltaic cells. Normally I run these with redstone engines, because redstone engines run a pump. You want 4 redstone engines, but just one photovoltaic cell and a conduit there to connect the power to it. And I put my barrel on top, and I've got an oil drum full of oil really quickly. So that was really nice. And I made a quick refinery, like so. Just turned 1 bucket's worth of oil into fuel, so I could make this thing. So I started that. I had a little play around with it, but it doesn't seem to be fixing the issue I've got over there. I've got that many resources. I don't think I'm ever going to need another quarry on the earth. I certainly will start having to aim for specific GregTech stuff. I've done a little bit of work on the village. I've built some walls. I've not done everything. I've not done the roofs and stuff yet, but and while I'm up here as well, what I've also done is I've changed. That was a storage box. I've changed that to an ender chest that goes into my AE network, and I've changed that one to go into the AE network as well. So reeds and cotton is going straight into the AE network now. I don't think I've done any think, oh, I'll have to show you in the enchanting room in a minute. It's ridiculous. So what we've got is, I don't know how much of this I've done off camera. I have done quite a bit, I must admit, more than I'd generally like. So I've got all these things. These are all slightly different semicolon numbers after different colours, I guess. But all I'm doing is I'm just manually keeping a track. Look at all this stuff in here, it's ridiculous. Manually keeping a track on that until I get this better barrel full. This, obviously, this will auto unify. So if everything coming out of there is the number 2031, the ID, with no semicolon after it. So I'm just manually putting it in there for now. I could make this export bus into a fuzzy, and that'd sort that out actually. But, I was going to do that, but I don't know what I need a fuzzy export bus for after that, so I kind of left it. Let's sort all these out. Oh man, look at all the stuff this is getting. For a start, I've got 9 essence berry bushes there. You've seen how much I'm getting off 2. So if I plant all them down, I've got loads more to go at. I've got iron, copper, a couple of tin, so I can make some real nice. I've got no gold ones yet though. I can make a real nice little passive metal farm there, but check out how much metal I've got. I've got 28,000 copper, 17,000 iron, 10,000 tin. At the minute, it's processing tin. This, a couple of people said this is overpowered. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. It takes a lot of power. You've got to remember this is taking 75 mg a tick. And it's pretty slow. And I've had to leave the server on for days to get this amount of stuff. But the amount of stuff the quarry's dropping me is also ridiculous. If you think I'm doing, it's like doing, is it 16 quarries at once? Is that right? Or is it 8 quarries at once? It's doing a lot of quarries at once. So I'm getting an absolute shit ton of resources. That's the only way I can describe it, an absolute shit ton. And if you look at my ores, I mean, look at that. I've got like 7,000 ore, iron ore. If you think that's going to multiply by 5, so there's 35,000 ingots there. Certus quartz. But look how long this is going to take. This is, once that quarry is finished, this is going to take a couple of weeks for just this one extractor to deal with. I could have a lot of extractors, but of course every extractor taking 75 mg a tick, it's really going to add up the amount of power you need. So really, I think if you're going to do that, you'd have to go for a rotary craft, a reactor to get a massive amount of power. What we are going to work on at the minute is actually increasing our power from using rotary craft to get more RF power. That's what I'm going to work on in a minute. Hello, what are you doing in here? Get away. Got that 4 ender pearls. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, sir. And speaking of ender pearls, look at this. I've got 14,000 of these. 14,000. These things are really cool. We can make some really nice things with this. What I'm going to do is, I need auto crafting. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the camera in just a sec. I'm going to make a quick molecular assembly chamber from Applied Energistics. If you've seen anyone play with Applied Energistics, you've seen them do this, so I don't need to do it on camera. I will be doing this on camera in my beginner's guide if you really want to see one of these put together. But basically, I'm going to make a big box using containment walls for the edges, heat vents for the walls, and inside it we're going to put crafting CPUs and pattern providers wherever they are. Pattern providers are somewhere, but I'll make a molecular assembly chamber. I'll connect it to the network here, and then we can actually do some ME auto crafting. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to make some ender pearl plants with this, and a pretty cool way to gather them resources in. Another thing I've done, I want to do is, I made this little setup. This is, I said I was going to do this once I'd got Applied Energistics, and it makes things so much easier. So we've got a fermenter here. Once I've got auto crafting, I can tell this to auto craft sugarcane reeds into sugar. So that'll automatically put dirt and sugar into the fermenter, which will create us the yeast. The yeast will automatically get put into this fermenter, which I've got a redstone signal on, which makes it the target into sludge. So let's look at it. If I turn that off, the target's yeast. If I turn that on, it also empowers them. That's interesting. If I turn that on, it becomes... I wonder why I didn't need a... what do you call it in them? Servo. So that makes a target the sludge, and then I'm going to put the sludge into a redstone furnace, which will turn it into ethanol, and then I've got an ethanol source for a gas engine, gasoline engine, which we've got some of in here. So I'm going to put just one for now, or should I put more than one? I might actually have a little bank of 3 of these, like so. 1, 2, 3. So they of course need ethanol, so this will pump ethanol into them. If I connect it up with some fluid ducts, once we've got power under here, that is. So I'll do it like that. Put a servo in there, of course. Does it need a servo? No, day auto jet, so it doesn't need a servo. So that'll put me ethanol into all of these. I'll put some control units under them, and what we're going to do is we're going to create an engine, another engine called a... It's got a Dynamo in the name, I think. That guy, Rotational Dynamo. What this will do is this will take power from these gasoline engines and turn it, I'll probably make 3 of them actually, and turn it into redstone flux, so I can make them, I can get them to put into my network. So I'll probably feed that into a resonance cell or a redstone engine cell. So I'll get the bits ready to make that when I come back. But I'm going to make a quick molecular assembly chamber just so I can auto craft stuff. I've added, as you can see, I've added a load of 1K cells. So this has got like cobble, dirt, sand, glass. Some of them ain't that full yet because I've just got the stuff over there. But 1K cells, this will be all coming to Mars with me. Get your ass to Mars. So I've got a lot of stuff in there. They're all just 1Ks, and then these are all 64Ks. Ingots, gems, ores and flakes. You've seen them before. Crafted, I've started to put crafted stuff in there to keep this a little bit clearer. And I've made an organic one, which has got like the sugar cane and string and stuff like that in. What I do need to deal with is, I mean, look at all these I've got. It's crazy, crazy. So I'm taking these out. The Quarry Plus picks up everything. As you can see, I've been through some dungeons. What another issue actually, the Quarry Plus gets stuck on spawners. So each time the Quarry Plus has been on a spawner, it just sticks on the spot. I've had to go into creative to break the spawner from underneath it because I can't break it with a pick or anything. So something weird goes on when the Quarry Plus is over a spawner. So you need to be aware of that as well if you're doing this. But as you can see, I've been through some mine shafts. I've been through a couple of things. I've got a division sigil, which is awesome. I want to get that activated. So that I want to do that this episode as well if I can. So the main things for this episode are automate this ethanol production to make RF from this as well. So we're not using that all the time. Make a molecular assembly chamber. Do some auto crafting with these essence dusts and activate that division sigil. So that's my plans. Right, I'll make this a molecular assembly chamber. I'll be back. I just want to show you this before. I'm not going to cut just yet. Look at that. In there I've got 1 purple crystal. What I've been doing, I've been manually putting these down and just breaking them. Well, look, I could have regen crystals everywhere. I've got enough for like nearly 4 there. I've got some more here. This isn't all going to fit. The whale's gone mad. But if you look, so the purple ones, look how many purple ones I've got there. I've got 1 there and I've got 1 there. So let's just break that. So I've been keeping this fortune pick for breaking them. I've got 3, so that means with that one I've got enough to make an actual potion crystal. Or the permanent ones. But I'm not going to make it just yet. I'm going to show you how many I've got up here. So I don't even need essence berry bushes to be honest, because of all them. So if we run over here, let's get a speed buff on us. So I've still only got 2 essence berry bushes up there that are working away. So check this out in here. Oh Jesus, look at my XP. My XP is just growing up because I've had so many of them purple crystals. So I've made them into the cheaty potion crystals. This is a mod. If I was making a mod pack, I'd use Rotational. I think it's good. I think it's very powerful, but it requires quite a bit of, I guess, intellectual investment. Plus power, plus time, so it does require some effort. This stuff it's very good, but I think it's too strong. If I was making a mod pack, Geostrata would not be in it. It's a very good mod. Again, it's Raker's mod, same as Rotary Craft. I'd have the Rotary Craft in. Same as the Meteors, I wouldn't have the Meteors in either. So the some of Raker's mods I personally wouldn't put in a pack. These are very good. I am using them because they're in the pack. So if it's someone else who'd put it in the pack, I don't mind using it. But as you can see, yeah, cheeky potion crystals. And of course, I mean, I'd have died so many times without this magenta one. Right, making a Mac, back in a bit. Right then, I have made myself a molecular assembly chamber. Not quite finished it. It's down under the floor here. Gone by 5x5x5, which is total overkill, but never mind. I just need to put the pattern providers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got 2 layers of crafting CPUs, 1 layer of pattern providers, and then a vent on top. We'll turn it into a multi-block structure, and there we go. We have now got a multi-block structure. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to actually make in there is sugar. So I'm going to put a bit of reed in there. Going to encode that. I've only got enough glowstone at the minute for 13 blank patterns, so that's a bit unfortunate. I need to go get some more glowstone. Right, so that can go in there. And now, what can happen over here is if I change this to most single items are craft, that's going to start crafting, automatically crafting sugar for me. So it's going to start. This is all automated now. So what I've done, I've actually changed it. I've put it so it's got this stuff going into a barrel. I might actually have something in there. No, I haven't. Cool. So this ethanol is going straight into this barrel here. So that'll keep going until the barrel fills up, which is nice. Right, a couple of other issues I've had. One is that actually took me more resources than I expected it to. I had to go mine some diamonds, and I put the diamonds through the extractor, and I think from about 21 diamonds I got about 70 odd diamond ore flakes. Now these guys, it keeps popping in there and popping out again. These guys, they if you smelt them, you get 1 diamond. If you use Mimicrate, you get 2. So I was looking at the amount of Mimicrate I had, and if you look at Mimicrate ore, I've got like 1300 Mimicrate, so I put 1 stack of Mimicrate through here, and as you can see, 64 Mimicrate is more than, it's almost tripled it up to now. So I'm coming to the conclusion, there's lots of things in this mod that double resources, triple resources, get you free resources. Something else I'm going to look at in a minute is magical crops, which essentially grows free resources. This mod pack, it's good. It's not the best mod pack to put GregTech in with. I think a lot of the stuff I'm doing is, I could ignore a big part of the mod pack, but I'm meant to be showing Monster, so it's not very, it doesn't go well with GregTech, let's put it that way. There's lots of stuff in this mod, like the Rotary Craft plus Mimicrate plus magical crops. It all adds up to I can even double that using Mimicrate. I can use Mimicrate to double Mimicrate. And what do they get me? They're going to get me 1, okay. So I need to smelt these guys up. I'll just smelt them, I won't double them. Just behave. So that will smelt them guys up, to which I can then use them to make shapeless Mimicrate, which I can then use to double the amount of diamonds I've got, for example. So that's one thing you can double. Another thing you can double, I was actually making diamonds to make the processors, and these guys, check them out. Oops. You check them out. You can make them before you cook them. You can make them like that. You can double them there as well. So what you actually get in there is you're getting 2 diamonds. You're getting an extra 2 redstone and silicon, and you're not using your tool either. So Mimicrate helps a lot with that if you want to do it that way as well. Right. A couple of other things as well I didn't mention. One, the other day my quarry got stuck on a lava water loop, so it just created, I think, about 170,000 cobble. And rather than just bin it all, I quickly made a cyclic assembler, and I made some patterns there. One, a pattern to make compressed, then double compressed, then triple compressed. So I made some triple compressed cobblestone. That's what that stuff is there. And I've also just made a schematic for wood. So I did have a chest full of sawdust here, which I made into wood. That's from a lot of fair trees that the quarry cut down, by the way. All the fair wood that the quarry cut down before it got below the ground level. I binned loads of it, but I kept a chest full. I binned a load. Something else you can put through there as well is I was going to bin these fences. If you look at fences, they can also go through a grinder and get your sawdust, so you can get wood back from your fences if you want to do that. Right, I actually need to make something here. I need to make a redstone energy cell. Let's quickly bang one of them together. Frame. So that's what I needed a diamond for as well. We'll come back to that. But let's quickly make one of them, and we'll ask that to be ready, and we'll need 40 redstone. Oops, cock that off. Half, half, half. There we go. Bam. 40 redstone, and we'll stick that in the magma crucible, and then we'll have a redstone energy cell when we want to do this. So what I'm going to do then, I've got this here. This is all ready to go. All I need to do is put a servo in there, and what I've got in here is the bits ready to make 3 of these rotational dynamos. So it's quite cheap, just 3 bits of steel, some steel gears, transmission cord, and redstone. Gets us these guys. Now, what I'm going to do with these is, this is a potentially temporary setup, just until I work out exactly what I do with these. Now, oops. The other thing I can do with this, of course, is I have to make sure to use that pickaxe. I wonder if the wrench picks them up. No. I meant to make sure I use that pickaxe when breaking the rotary craft things, because the flux one breaks them, of course. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to put some energy conduit there. What I have got, of course, is what I can also run into one of them rotational dynamos is my gas turbine there. I've got like 5 and nearly 6 barrels full of jet fuel to get through, so that'll create a whole shit ton of power as well. I should really make resonant energy cells for this, but we'll see how it goes. Is that done already? That's done. Wonderful. So if we come back down here and slot that in there, that'll get us an energy cell, and let's see how this works. So basically all I want to do is put a servo in there. Servo. One thing, there we go. Oh, it's never putting glass in because it picks weird glass. Guess there's a servo. Don't think I've got any in my bag, so maybe should have checked in my bag first. But if we put that in there, we can now set this. I'm going to go stack size 1, and that's going to start putting stuff into these. Now these will convert as much power as you put into it. So you could put a gas turbine power wave straight into this. You could put a reactor power wave straight into this. So you'll see that's going to fill the middle one up straight up first away, isn't it? Let's go back to 64. At least it'll fill all 3 up then. Come on. What's going on there? Where's it all going? There we go. Right, now I'll put it to 1. So it should, once it's used all this stuff up that's in it, just I don't really like how that's bouncing things about, to be honest. Anyway, what we've got there is we've got another power source there. That, as long as there's ethanol, is going to run, and as long as we've got sugarcane, and as long as we've got sugarcane and dirt, that's going to run. So I think dirt is a limiting factor, and we can of course make dirt if we want, using again sugarcane and the compressor. So just to show you what I mean is, if I was to grab a stack of dirt, and you see if that's actually keeping up, the quarry's getting enough dirt at the minute. Once that quarry's finished, I won't be needing another quarry, so there is that. So what I can do with this, I can I do with this? Not dirt. What am I doing? I don't want to grab that. I'm just crushing some quartz up over there. The only thing that can crush Certus quartz, by the way, seems to be a macerator. It reads that I wanted. So that's up to 11k. That's actually going up still, even though it's using that thing. That little farm's growing it that quick. It's going up. So this stuff I can create plant balls, I believe, like so. And then if I come across to the compressor, you can compress plant balls into dirt. So you have got a way of actually creating dirt without having to go out and farm it. Magical crops can probably create dirt as well, because magical crops seems to be able to produce everything. Now that's what I'm going to get with next. So there we go. We've got another power source. Compressed plants. What do I do with that? Have I put it in the wrong thing? I put it in the wrong thing, haven't I? Oh, we're macerating to death. Son of a... Put it in the wrong thing. So that's busy anyway. That's busy macerating. Well, it's only a little bit of sugar we've wasted there, but you don't compress that at all. My bad. You actually put that into there, and it'll macerate that into dirt. So you can actually create dirt. I'm just going to bin this just so it's out of the way. But that's not filling up that quick, which is good. I don't want to produce power too quick. But what I can do with this is, these have got ECUs underneath. I can just set it so that if there's nowhere for the power to go, it can turn off. And I probably will set the gas turbine next time I cut camera, just to see how much power that puts through one of them. Just out of curiosity. Right, magical crops. These are things that are crazy. I want to show you them. What's going on? Get away. Must be putting too much stuff in there. Crazy stuff. First of all, I want some of this stuff. Splash fertilizer. You make by putting a condensed splash serum. This is from reliquary with some bone meal or white dye. I actually use bone meal. That stuff is water with gunpowder, glowstone, and netherwort, and that is just 5 glass panes. Gets you 5 of them little empty ones. Fill them up with water. I've got these things, and what I can do is I can get some lily pads. 1, 2, 3 lily pads, and we're going to surround the lily pads with them. I've got another 8 of them in there, haven't I? So that's the first one I do for magical crops. What these do is these lily pads of fertility. These increase growth rate, much like the crops, the IC2 crops that I've got on that farm. I'm going to put one in my cotton farm to speed that up, and I've got one for the blank farm there, and I've got one for the farm that I'm not even harvesting over there. Anyway, let's look at in here. Let's look at essence. Now I've made a load of these things. Back up to 2,000 of them. I actually used all of them. I was down to 0 and it's back up to 2,000 again. The quarry's getting us loads of that stuff. I've made 32 of these extreme ones, and I was on the way to making 2 stacks, but I've only got 1 stack up to now of these strong essences. What I'm going to do with these is check this out. Another crazy thing in this mod pack. I am going to get some diamonds, and I'm going to get some ender pearls to start with. So a stack of ender pearls, and if we look at what these can go into, diamonds and emeralds for them ones, right? So let's get some emeralds as well, and let's make some of these guys. So I've got 32 of them, so this is going to get me quite a few of these. So let's have a go. So I want 4 lots of diamond. That's getting me 8 diamond seeds, and then I'm going to want 4 lots of emerald. Let's get the same amount of emerald seeds. So there's a diamond and the emeralds. Now the rest of these diamonds and emeralds can go back. Next up, I'm going to go with 4 of the ender ones. Get myself some ender seeds. Then next up, what should we go with? Blaze. I actually got enough blaze for as many as I want, but We get some blaze rods coming in, and keep going through loads of crazy stuff. Got enough for some gassed ones. Gassed seeds. So, am I even going to need mob farms if I plant enough of these? Now, I'll leave it like that for now. I'll probably get some more of them. So let's go plant some and see how they grow. So upstairs. Hello. Zombie giving another zombie a piggyback. Them guys. So first thing I want to do is I want to swap this lily, this normal lily, for one of my lily pads of fertility. There we go. So that'll increase the growth rate of all these cotton plants. It's nice. Not that I'm using much cotton, but I can make that into an absolute ton of wool or string if and when I need to. I'm going to put one in the middle of here. Like I say, I'm not even harvesting this farm, but I thought if I was making one lily pad, I might as well make 3. So there we go, one in there. That'll mean these grow quicker if we decide to start harvesting them. This one, there's no point in putting one in there because these are on crops. They already have a growth increase, so the lily pad won't actually make a difference for them. So we don't want one in there, but we do want one in here. So this is where our third one's going to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant these guys around here and see how they grow. Okay, I've had a little bit of a change of plan since I was up there. I've just deleted a bit of footage that I did. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. This is working very nice, by the way. It's filling up. It's not massively powerful. If I look at it with this, you can see that we are getting just about 11.5 MJ a tick. So it's more than an engine. More than Dynamos put out anyway, innit? Oh no, hang on. No, it's not putting out much at all, is it? 11 RF a tick. So that 1.1 MJ a tick. So that doesn't put out a lot of power at all. Okay. No, 11. Yeah. That's just 1.16 RF a tick, innit? So that's why that's filling up real slow. But it's free power. This is going up. This is up to 23. It was at around 12, I think. So I could have a whole load more of these guys. I've just got this. I've got a red alloy wire running there, so I can turn these off if I want with that when this is full. So the amount of reeds we are using, we're getting a load of ethanol, and if we're looking here, we are maintaining 8128 dirt, so we're not actually using any dirt up, and the sugar cane's going up as well. That's up to 11, so we're actually gaining, not losing on that part. So that's all good. By the way, before the start of the last section, the microscope that was on top of here crashed my server, and I couldn't start it up again, so I had to go into MC Edit and delete this breeder again. So I've got an issue. I've looked on the bug tracker, and the microscope can cause crashes, so I'm going to leave that in the chest for now. I'm not going to bother making another breeder until I actually want to make another serum, but I'm okay for now. I'll just put that. I'll make one, put it down, and pick it up as I need it. Which is weird because I've got one in my little single player test area, and it's fine in there. That doesn't cause any hassles there. Anyway, so yeah, this is all working very nice. So it's free power in it. And on a similar vein to that, I want to sort this out. So what I'm doing, I'm just making energy cell, and I thought this might put out a lot of power. So what I've done is I'm going to upgrade this to a resonant energy cell. So for a resonant energy cell, I've made this little thing, liquid crafter. Liquid crafters are very nice and easy to make. Portable tanks, bit of plastic. So some MFR stuff in there, some vanilla stuff, and some thermal expansion stuff. Makes you a liquid crafter. What I can do with that is next to my magma crucible, I can set my magma crucible to put into it, and it'll put resonant ender in there. I pulverised some tin, pulverised a bit of platinum, and it got me this. So each click of the redstone turns it on and off. Then it got me some Endarium blend. What I can do with that now is bang that in there with some pyrotheum dust, which is just blaze powder sulfur. Pulverised coal and redstone is going to get me some Endarium ingots, which I can then start to use to either upgrade energy cells or portable tanks or the strong boxes, 2 resonant strong boxes. So that's quite nice. Don't want to use too much of my platinum just yet though, until I've got a better source of platinum. In previous games I've done with Greg Tech, I've always had platinum bees. Well, I don't plan on having them just yet. At least I might have to at some point. So what I've done a little setup here with the gas turbine that was here before. If you remember, we've got the engine control circuit underneath. I made another dynamo, lever on there. The jet fuel drums that are in this tank, that are in this work table, I mean. So I've got the one that's got about 200k in it, or less than 200k. So if I turn this on, you'll see that's certainly going up a bit more, isn't it? So if we look at this, see what this is putting out. 218 MJ tick, 330 MJ tick, and still going up. This, of course, holds a massive amount of energy. But as you can see, that, Christ, is ridiculous. I'm going to say dynamo generating. There we go. There's 1,000 MJ tick, isn't it? And it's still going up as that gets faster. So if we look in there, you'll see that that's got 33 minutes worth. Has that emptied that? Yeah, it has. It's got 33 minutes worth of fuel in there. I can, of course, bang another one on. I'll see what that 33 minutes gets us. So I'll probably cut and come back to that. So what I did up here with this, now the episode's getting a little bit long, so I don't want to spend too much more time. But the little idea that I had was I was going to sleep. So I planted them where I was going, and I was looking at ways of harvesting them. I tried a couple of MFR ways of harvesting them, but as far as I can tell, manually all you can do is break them. You can't actually get the stuff off. So if you left click, it breaks. I can't seem to find a way of not breaking them. So you see there, if you break the ender ones, you get ender seeds, so you can replant, and you get these ender essences. So I'm going to break all these. I'm going to start off with the enders. You also get this sometimes, nature essence. I think that's just random. There's like Christmas essence as well. So I'm going to break all of these. I'm going to take them somewhere else. I've got a little idea. So let's get the emerald ones broken. So remember, I had 8 emerald, 8 diamond. I've got all kind of stuff in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down here, and what I'll do, I've got a little setup down here. Now the first thing I need in this setup, first of all, I need to tidy my inventory, don't I? You can go in there for now. So I'll tell you what you can do. I'll show you what you can do with these for a start. Emerald essence, you combine 2. So we've not quite earned an emerald yet. You combine 2 to get the greater essence. So we've got 4 there, and then if we look at the NEI, you put 8 in a circle, and that'll get you an emerald. So we've grown half an emerald up to now. So it's not a massive amount. Same with the diamonds. Combine them, and then you need 8 ender essence. Is that the same? Looks like it. So 8 gets you 2 there, and you can also make endstone. That's interesting. And so the gassed essence, what do you do with that? So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for gas tiers. Oh, you can get bottles of enchantment as well, so that's XP as well. So we're a third of the way to getting gas tiers just for the 2 that we had. Blaze essence, greater, and then yeah, 8. So that's the same. And we've got a few essence dusts out of that as well. And we've got all our seeds back. But that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is a bit better, I think. Let's move some stuff out of the way. I'm going to it's loud in it. I think I've got a sound buffer thing for that somewhere. If not, I have to make another one. I'll probably just paste it in a chest. So I know you guys are a lot more eagle-eyed than I am. I'm going to turn it off for now. But yeah, that's filling up nice, isn't it? I'm curious. Is it maxed out on its spin? Yeah, looks like it. So 11,000 RF a tick, which is 1192 MJ a tick, which is crazy. Crazy. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck these essences actually into my ME network. For now, I'm going to keep the seeds on me. That electron can go in there. So yeah, I've got all my seeds still. But what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to make is some steam engines. Now, we'll make steam engines like so. We need cobble, condensers, impellers, base panels and gold and shafts. So get a bit of gold, get some cobble, and we should have the rest of the thing we need in here. So I'm going to make 3 of these to start with. Impellers, we might need 2 more impellers I think, so we need impellers for something else as well. So let's have 2 more of them. Is that everything? Get them shafts and see if I can remember what the order was. So 1, 2, I'm going to make 3 of them, and then like that, and then there should be something called condensers in there, ready, wonderful. And what else was it? Shafts. Shafts go there. Oh yeah, the gold, of course. But 1, 2, 3 steam engines. Then we're going to make something called fans. And a fan is wood, base panel, shaft and impellers. So that's what I want to do the 3 impellers for. Need another base panel. I thought it was 1 shot on the shaft there. And 1, 2, 3 fans. That can go back in there. That can go back in there. Need a bit of netherrack, which I've not got any in there, so it must be back in here. 1, 2, 3. And we need some dirt. Now, what I will do is I'll make some fertilised dirt at some point, but I've got no rotten flesh at the minute. I've been changing most of it into jerky, and I also cook some of it up into leather, which is quite useful. Now, what I'm going to do is, first up, I'm going to go put some netherrack down there. Then I'm just going to put some temporary dirt down there a second, and I'm going to put my steam engines on top of that. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to reach my nose and take them back out. And now with a flint and steel, I'm going to light them 3 netherracks, because this is what a steam engine needs. You need a heat source underneath it, and you need a water source fed into it. So because this is real nice and close to this, I can just go like that. And once these have got both temperature and water, these can start producing power. What I'm going to put in front of these is these fans. 1, 2, 2 and 3. And then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lots of dirt. I'm just going to plant the dirt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of watering cans in the autonomous activators that I have not made. I'll get all that placed. I want a vacuum hopper down this end. I'm going to have a vacuum hopper facing onto this chest, which feeds into my AE network. And what's going to happen is when the plants grow, then the fans are going to actually... Why have you not started yet? Not enough temperature yet. The fans are going to start blowing the plants off down to the vacuum hopper. We'll see how it works. Back in a minute. Oh, well, oops. I had that set to only 2,000, so it was going in much slower than it could have been. So I'm guessing the rest was getting wasted. It's still not taking it all, is it? That's only putting in. That could only take 10,000 RF a tick. So look how quick it's going up. Bloody hell. That's bizarre. So I'm actually going to turn that off because that's going to fill up any second, isn't it? So even when that's spinning down, that's still going to fill that up. And there's still 17 minutes left. About 33 odd minutes, and yeah, that's full. Look, so I don't know what that's going to do with the power. I guess I should whip that off and see how much more power is stored in there. Now the video is long, like I expected it to be. Oops. Turn them off. So much noise everywhere. So this, remember, this is quite expensive. Well, not massively expensive. You need blazes. You need certain things for it to work, but it's not a massive amount of setup. So that can only put in 2,000 naira for a tick, but that's still got some in there. I'm guessing just while that's spinning down, I don't know. Does that have an internal buffer? Perhaps. Anyway, what I've done over here, I need a little bit more glass to tidy it up when I'm done. The reason why I cut was because I forgot to make the autonomous activators, and the video must be nearly 50 minutes. What I've got over here then is these got to temperature. They've got water in, they've got to temperature. So they're running the fans. They're putting out, I believe it's 65 kilowatts, 128 newton meters of torque at 512 rads, I think. The autonomous activators here with the water are actually keeping the tilled ground moist. Now you can see what I can do with this. I've aimed it low. If I put it on level, if you put it on level, you see it's not actually gonna. It's gonna do this back line, but the front are gonna get dry because the water won't be hitting the front. You actually, it's not gonna probably show it now, but you actually have to aim that to low so it's all 9 in front of it. So what we can do is we can plant our emerald seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we can plant our diamond seeds. So if this works, I might expand this farm into something monstrously big, and we'll do our ender seeds. And you see these are starting to grow already. What's going to happen is when they get a flower on them, the fan is going to blow the flower off. I believe Joseph told me about this method. So, thank you very much, Joseph. If it was you who told me about this, I think it was. And I might as well put the one blade there. You can see it's blowing things at me. I've got some Christmas essence. The other thing I made was this guy, vacuum hopper, obsidian ender pearl, and a hopper. Gets us a vacuum hopper, which we're just going to bang there in front of our chest. And we're going to set that aside to input items. So this should collect all the items that come in here, down here. If I get me out of the way. Now my coin of fortune maybe get in the way a bit here, but as you can see, when the plants grow, why does that look dry? That looks dry. I don't think it is. Okay, my coin of fortune might be causing issues here. Let's turn it off for now. There we go. But as you can see, the fans blow the plants off without destroying the plants. So it seems to be working. That does look dry at the back there, doesn't it? So something might be going a little bit wrong. I suppose I could use, if I use a fertilised earth when I get some rotten flesh, then that automatically is hydrated as well. So the watering cans are not just speeding up; they're actually keeping that earth hydrated. But what you will find is, if we look back over here, we'll see because the ender chest is feeding into this one. We should see all this essence coming in. So we are getting, look like I've got 29 of the diamond essence already. If we can go like that, and we can craft a diamond. So I can set up some kind of auto crafting, and we're going to have auto crafted diamonds, ender pearls, and whatever else I want to make. If you look at the magical crops, there's absolutely loads. So I'm going to wrap up there because it must be 50 odd minutes. Magical crops, we've got all kind of stuff: gold, glowstone, coal, magma, skeleton, cow, creeper, all kind of stuff. So another thing you can automate with, I mean, and that's just water and netherrack. Once you've set it up, that don't actually require any power. The blood magic ritual of the green grove does work better underneath, but because I've got galactic craft, I can't use that, can I, in this world? So anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you for subs, thank you for comments, thank you for likes, feedback, support. It's all very much appreciated. I never get disheartened because I've got such positive fans, such positive subscribers who interact with me. So thank you very much for that. You keep me motivated to keep playing. I'll be playing this anyway if I weren't making videos. This is what I'll be doing with my time. But making videos is a lot of fun. So thank you for empowering me to be able to enjoy myself by doing this. And yeah, thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye.